Ladies and gentlemen, the topic we shall explore is must. Force yourself to be patient and stay focused. Now you may wonder, why must we force ourselves? Why patience? Why focused? Let me assure you, dear friends, that within these words lies the secret to unlocking the infinite power that resides within you. Let us begin by understanding that your imagination is the God within you. It is the creative power through which all things are possible. When you force yourself to be patient and stay focused, you are, in essence, disciplining your God self to remain steadfast in your assumption of the wish fulfilled. You are commanding your inner being to hold fast to the image of your desire, regardless of the appearances of the outer world. Consider for a moment the story of Joseph in the Bible, sold into slavery by his brothers, imprisoned unjustly. He could have easily lost patience and focus. But Joseph held fast to his inner conviction, to the dream that he would one day rise to greatness. And what happened? He became second only to Pharaoh in all of Egypt. This, my dear friends, is the power forcing yourself to be patient and stay focused. Now, let us delve deeper into the concept of patience. Patience is not a passive state of idle waiting. No, patience is an active state of unwavering faith. When you are truly patient, you are declaring to the universe, to your own wonderful human imagination, that you know with absolute certainty that your desire is already fulfilled in the spiritual realm, and that its manifestation in the physical world is inevitable. Think of a farmer who has planted a seed. Does he dig up the soil every day to check if the seed has sprouted? Of course not. He knows that the seed needs time to germinate, to push through the soil, to grow into a mighty plant. He is patient but not idle. He tends to the soil, he waters it, he cares for it, all the while knowing that the harvest will come in due time. This, my friends, is the patience we must force ourselves to embody. But patience alone is not enough. We must couple it with unwavering focus. Focus is the lens through which we project our imaginal acts onto the screen of space. When you stay focused, you're continuously impressing upon your subconscious mind the reality of your wish fulfilled. You are living in the end, dwelling in the state of the wish fulfilled, regardless of what your physical senses may tell you. Imagine, if you will, a magnifying glass focusing the sun's rays on a single point. What happens? That point begins to smoke, to smolder, and eventually bursts into flame. This is the power of focused imagination. When you stay focused on your desire, living in the end, feeling the naturalness of your wish fulfilled, you're concentrating all the creative power of your God self onto that single point of desire. And just as surely as the sun's focused rays will cause a fire, your focused imagination will cause your desire to burst into manifestation in your physical reality. Now, you may ask, but Neville, how do I force myself to be patient and stay focused when the outer world seems to contradict my desire? Ah, my dear friends, this is where the true test lies, and where your power as the operant power in your reality is truly exercised. You must remember that the outer world is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner assumptions. It is not the cause, it is the effect. Your job is to tend to the cause, your imagination, your assumptions, and let the outer world conform to it. When you find your patience wavering, when your focus begins to blur, you must return to your imaginal act. You must once again enter the state of your wish fulfilled. Feel it, live it, know it to be true. For remember, my dear friends, imagining creates reality. Your imaginal acts are the causes, set in motion now, of the circumstances you will encounter in the future. Let me share with you a technique that I have found immensely powerful in maintaining patience and focus. It is the technique of revision. At the end of each day, before you sleep, revisit the events of your day, but do not relive them as they occurred if they were not to your liking. Instead, revise them, recreate them in your imagination as you would have wished them to be. They serve two purposes. First, it trains your mind to focus on what you desire rather than what appears to be. Second, it impresses upon your subconscious the reality of your wish fulfilled, even in the face of contrary evidence. By engaging in this practice of revision, you are forcing yourself to be patient with the unfolding of events in your physical reality, while simultaneously staying focused on the reality you wish to create. You are, in effect, rewriting your past to create your desired future. For remember, in the realm of imagination, there is no past, present, or future. Now let us consider the concept of focus from another angle. When I speak of staying focused, I do not mean that you should obsess over your desire, constantly thinking about it in a state of lack or want. No, that would be counterproductive. Instead, the focus I speak of is a calm knowing, a quiet confidence that your desire is already yours. Think of it as tuning a radio. When you turn the dial and find the station you want, you don't keep fiddling with the dials, do you? No, you leave it be, knowing that the station will continue to play. This is the kind of focus you must cultivate. Tune your imagination to the frequency of your desire, and then let it be, knowing that it will continue to broadcast into your reality. This kind of focus requires discipline, yes. It requires that you force yourself to turn away from the apparent facts of your physical senses when they contradict your desire. But remember, my dear friends, your senses only show you the fruits of past assumptions. They do not dictate your future. Your imagination, properly focused and patiently held, is the architect of your future experiences. Let me give you an example from my own experience. Many years ago, I desired to travel to Barbados, but I had no money and no apparent means of making such a journey. Instead of focusing on these limiting circumstances, I forced myself to patiently and persistently imagine myself in Barbados. I would fall asleep each night feeling the tropical breeze on my skin, hearing the sound of the waves, smelling the salt in the air. I lived in Barbados in my imagination with such intensity that it became more real to me than my physical surroundings. And what happened? Within a matter of weeks, a series of unexpected events unfolded, culminating in my brother sending me the exact amount of money I needed for the trip. The outer world rearranged itself to conform to my inner assumption. This, my friends, is the power of forcing yourself to be patient and stay focused. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, surely it can't be that simple. Surely there must be more to it. And to that, I say it is both simpler and more demanding than you might think. Simple because the law is always working, always responding to your assumptions. Demanding because it requires you to maintain your assumption in the face of contradiction. To force yourself to be patient when everything in you wants to give up. To stay focused when the world tries to distract you. Remember, the Bible tells us the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. This violence is not physical violence, but the violence we must sometimes do to our own doubts, our own fears, our own limiting beliefs. We must forcefully reject any thought, any assumption that does not align with our desire. We must violently uproot the weeds of doubt and fear that threaten to choke the seed of our desire. This, my dear friends, is what it means to force yourself to be patient and stay focused. It is a conscious, deliberate act of faith. It is a declaration to the universe, to your own wonderful human imagination, that you will not be swayed by appearances, that you will hold fast to your assumption of the wish fulfilled, come what may. Now let us delve deeper into the mechanics of this process. When you force yourself to be patient and stay focused, you are engaging in a form of mental diet. Just as you carefully choose what food you put into your physical body, you must be equally discerning about the thoughts and assumptions you allow into your mental body. Every thought, every assumption is a seed. And make no mistake, it will bear fruit in your experience. Therefore, you must be vigilant. You must force yourself to reject any thought that does not align with your desire. This is not always easy. The world will present you with facts that seem to contradict your assumption. Your own fears and doubts will arise, tempting you to abandon your imaginal act. But this is where the force comes in. You must forcefully turn away from these appearances, these doubts, and return again and again to your assumption of the wish fulfilled. Think of it as training a puppy. When the pup wanders off, you gently but firmly bring it back to where you want it to be. In the same way, when your mind wanders from your assumption, When your focus wavers, you must gently but firmly bring it back to your imaginal act. This is the discipline, the force that is required. But let me be clear, my dear friends. This force is not a violence against yourself. It's not a gritting of teeth or a white-knuckled determination. No, it is a loving discipline, a gentle but firm redirection of your attention back to the truth of your being, back to the reality of your wish fulfilled. Now you may ask, but Neville, how long must I maintain this focus? How long must I force myself to be patient? And to that I say, until it becomes natural, until your assumption of the wish fulfilled becomes so real, so vivid, that to assume otherwise would seem absurd. This is what I mean when I speak of living in the end. Consider the biblical story of Abraham. God promised him a son, yet years passed, and the promise remained unfulfilled. But Abraham remained patient. He stayed focused on the promise. He lived as though he were already a father, even when his physical reality showed no evidence of it. And in due time, the promise was fulfilled. Isaac was born. This, my friends, is the pattern we must follow. We must, like Abraham, live in the end. We must assume the feeling of our wish fulfilled with such intensity, such conviction, that we cannot help but bring it into manifestation. Now, let us explore another aspect of this practice. When I speak of staying focused, I do not mean that you should constantly be thinking about your desire in a state of want or lack. No, that would be counterproductive. Instead, the focus I speak of is a calm knowing, a quiet confidence. Think of it this way. When you order a package online, do you spend every waking moment thinking about the package, worrying whether it will arrive? No, you place the order and then go about your life, confident that the package will be delivered. This is the kind of focus you must cultivate in relation to your desires. You place your order with the universe through your imaginal act, and then you go about your life, confident in the knowledge that your desire is on its way. This is what it means to live in the end. You live as though your desire is already fulfilled, not anxiously awaiting its arrival, but calmly accepting it as a present fact. But make no mistake, my dear friends, this calm acceptance requires force. It requires discipline, because the world will present you with evidence that seems to contradict your assumption. This is where you must force yourself to be patient. You must remind yourself that what you are seeing is the fruit of past assumptions, not the reality of your current assumption. Remember, the outer world is like a mirror, reflecting back to you your inner assumptions. But there is a time lag between the inner assumption and its outer reflection. This is where patience comes in. You must force yourself to be patient, to hold steady in your assumption, knowing that the outer world must, by law, conform to your inner conviction. Now let me share with you a powerful technique for maintaining your focus and patience. It is the technique of remembering when. Instead of imagining your desire as something in the future, imagine it as something in the past. Say to yourself, I remember when I didn't have this thing I desired. I remember when it seemed impossible. But now look at me. I have it, and it's wonderful. By framing your desire as a memory, you bypass the tendency of the mind to place it in the future. You create a sense of immediacy, of presentness that is crucial for manifestation. For remember, in the realm of imagination, there is no past or future. There's only the eternal now. This technique also helps to cultivate patience. When you remember when you didn't have your desire, you create a sense of time having passed, of the desire having been fulfilled. This helps to quell the impatience, the anxious wanting that can sometimes accompany our desires. Now let us delve deeper into the concept of focus. When I speak of focus, I'm not talking about a strained concentration. I am talking about a relaxed attention, a gentle but persistent returning of your thoughts to the assumption of your wish fulfilled. Think of it like this. When you're deeply engrossed in a good book or a fascinating movie, you don't have to force yourself to pay attention to you. Your focus naturally stays on the story. This is the kind of focus you want to cultivate in relation to your desire. You want it to become so real, so vivid in your imagination, that your attention naturally stays with it. But here's the key. You must force yourself to engage in this imaginative act repeatedly until it takes on this quality of naturalness. This is where the force comes in. You must commit to your imaginal act, returning to it again and again, especially when the outer world seems to contradict it. Remember, my dear friends, imagination creates reality, but it does so through repeated impression. Just as a single raindrop does not carve a canyon, a single imaginal act does not usually transform your reality. It is the persistent, patient application of your imagination that brings about change. Now, let us consider another aspect of this practice. The feeling, when you force yourself to be patient and stay focused, you are not just holding a mental picture. You are cultivating a feeling, an emotion, for it is the feeling that gives life to the imaginal act. When you imagine your desire fulfilled, you must feel the joy, the satisfaction, the relief that would accompany its fulfillment. This feeling is the secret. It is the bridge between your imaginal act and its physical manifestation. But here again, we see the need for force, for discipline. Because feelings can be fleeting. Emotions can be swayed by outer circumstances. This is where you must force yourself to return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, even when your outer world would prompt other feelings. Think of it like this. You are an actor on the stage of life. Your role is that of the person who has already achieved their desire. You must play this role convincingly, feeling the emotions that this person would feel, thinking the thoughts they would think even when the stage set, your current circumstances, this doesn't match the role. This is not pretense or self-deception. This is the highest form of truth. For remember, my dear friends, your imagination is the God within you. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, what if I force myself to be patient and stay focused, and still my desire doesn't manifest? To this I say, revise your understanding of time. In the realm of imagination, there is no time. Your desire is already fulfilled. If it has not yet appeared in your physical reality, it is not because it hasn't happened, but because you are not yet in the position in time where you can perceive it. This understanding is crucial for maintaining patience and focus. You are not waiting for something to happen. It has already happened. You are simply moving through time to the point where you can perceive it in your physical reality. Think of it like this. Imagine you are on a train moving towards your destination. The destination already exists. It's not being created as you travel. You are simply moving towards the point where you can perceive it. This is how you must think of your desires. They already exist in the spiritual realm. You are simply moving through time to the point where they will be perceptible in your physical reality. This perspective helps to cultivate patience, because you know that your desire is not something that needs to be created or made to happen. It already is. You simply need to align yourself with it through your assumption, your feeling, your focus. Now let us consider another powerful tool for maintaining patience and focus. The use of affirmations. Affirmations are declarations of truth statements that align with your desire as though it were already fulfilled. When you force yourself to repeat these affirmations, especially when outer circumstances seem to contradict them, you are exercising your power to choose your assumptions. But remember, affirmations are not mere words. They must be felt. They must be imbued with the emotion of the wish fulfilled. When you say, I am wealthy, you must feel the security, the freedom, the joy that wealth brings. When you say, I am healthy, you must feel the vitality. This is where the force comes in. You must force yourself to feel these emotions, to embody these states even when your physical reality would prompt other feelings. This is the discipline of imagination. This is what it means to live in the end. Now, my dear friends, let us delve into another crucial aspect of this practice: detachment. When I speak of staying focused, I do not mean that you should obsess over your desire. In fact, such obsession often comes from a place of lack, of wanting, which can actually push your desire further away. Instead, the focus I speak of is a calm, confident knowing. It's the focus of someone who has already received their desire and is simply waiting for the physical world to catch up. This kind of focus allows you to detach from the when and how of your manifestation. You trust in the law, in the power of your imagination, to bring about the perfect circumstances for your desire to manifest. This detachment is crucial for maintaining patience. When you're truly living in the end, when you fully accepted your desire as a present fact in your imagination, you no longer feel the anxious need to see immediate results in the physical world. You know it's done, and you're content to let it unfold in divine timing. This is the highest form of patience, a patience born not of resignation, but of absolute faith in the law and in your own wonderful human imagination. So, my dear friends, as we conclude this exploration of forcing yourself to be patient and stay focused, remember this. You are the operant power in your reality. Your imagination is God in action within you. When you force yourself to be patient, to stay focused on the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are exercising your divine creative power. You are shaping your reality from within. And though it may require discipline, though it may require you to forcefully reject contradictory evidence and persistently return to your assumption, know that this is the path to mastery. This is how you claim your birthright as a creative being. This is how you fulfill the scripture. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Go forth then and create boldly. Force yourself to be patient. Stay focused on the feeling of your wish fulfilled. And watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. Thank you.
Loaded, you're dead. That shit is terminal. Only in deeper, too scared to pass. Running on empty, lost in your games. My heart was breaking, yet I took the blame. But something woke up deep in my soul, a quiet whisper that took control. Learned to stand, to hold my own, say goodbye to things I know. Oh, the power I know, it set me free. Letting go of what wasn't meant for me. From my voice, my strength, my own way to grow. Oh, there's beauty in the power of no.